Hey kids, we're back. You're watching Guitar Quackery Live. This is a live stream. You're watching a replay of a live stream. Right? No, this is going to be long. It's a live stream. Yeah. If you like live streams, this is Guitar Quackery Live, which is the one and only live streaming guitar repair channel so far. So you can subscribe to this channel if you like the idea of catching me live in real time at work. Yeah, but you need to hit the bell icon as well, because that's the only way you'll know when I'm streaming, because it's not the kind of type of channel that has a schedule for the live streaming, right? We have the PRS here. I just noticed that this is a little bit loose, so I'm just going to tighten it. That's it. Done. This one's good. Yeah. All right. So PRS. PRS with a fixed tuning machine that I fixed. So this is the first time. If this is your first time watching this series or this playlist, that's what I did. You're watching now part 4. So part 1, 2, and 3 had to do with the repair of the tuning machine. So let's check it. Kind of. We won't be able to fully check this tuning machine until we put the strings on. But it was this one. I had to fix the knob. So it's turning. That's a good sign. I'll use this. Turn it in this direction. Okay. Now I'll put a little resistance on it. Yeah. Turn it in the other direction. It is turning. This you can unscrew, right? So all right, it's turning. I have a good feeling about this. I think we fixed it. That's the one. So the customer wanted to restore the tuning knob. Well, not restore it. The one that was broken into pieces, and we just used another one and converted the tuning knob to fit here. It was quite an interesting procedure, and I do encourage you to watch it. This is the sort of thing that I normally would want to put on my main channel, which is called Guitar Quackery. But these, videos, when it comes to produce content, right, as opposed to live streams, they take a long time to produce. So, yeah, there's no way I would have recorded this whole process, because I'm already sitting on a bunch of other videos that I've been recording over the past 2 years or so, and I just have a hard drive, 2 hard drives. One is a backup drive, right? Full, as in 97% full. So I don't feel the need to record anymore until I'm done editing what's already been recorded. Okay, but I'm streaming, okay, on this channel, so these interesting repairs will end up on this channel, on the live channel. Okay, so what are we doing with this guitar? We'll just be doing a setup on this guitar. We won't have to fix the frets, we won't have to fix the nut, nothing, right? Just a setup. We will polish the frets and, you know, clean the guitar, check the electronics. What else? Let's check the electronics first. All right. Here's the cable. I have an amplifier right here. You can't see it, but it's there. So I crank up the volume on the amp a little bit and check if there are any scratchy pots. Nothing. Okay, so if you keep using the pots, I think you never need to deoxit them. So they're good. There's no reason to fix them. Okay. What else can we do? So 2 of the strings are missing. Like normally I would check the truss rod, you know, with the old strings on. Can't really do this properly now because we don't have full tension on the neck. But let's check. Let's see. Can't hurt. But I'll remove the truss rod cover because we are going to be adjusting it at some point. So this is an actual PRS, right? Not a PRS SE. There. Okay. You can see it there, a truss rod. Now let's check the neck relief. So I'll put the neck rest here, closer to the body. Let's see if I can do this. Yeah. And like I said, this is not going to be a real adjustment right now with only 4 strings. I just want to get an idea. So, is there any relief here? No, there isn't. So we need to, we're going to have to release tension on the truss rod a little bit. Where's my thing? Is it this one? I think so. No. Oh yeah. So, release. The thing is that it's actually a good thing to exercise the truss rod. So you can see that there's a relief because this is flexing in the middle, right? So there's no back bow right now. But just not enough relief. So let's release it a little bit, a little more. Yeah, we're getting relief, which is a good thing. Now it's too much, but that's good, you know. So we want to just make sure at this point that it's adjusting. Like I said, normally if I have all the strings on, I tune them to full tension and then do my initial preliminary adjustment before I remove the strings. Okay, you can see here there's a post-it note. It's actually 3 post-it notes folded together, which makes it a layer of the 6 post-it notes thick. And that's so that the bridge doesn't damage the finish, because these springs obviously are going to be pulling the trim block in this direction. Let's open this. We might need to adjust. I wonder if this is the right screwdriver. They look like the small Phillips heads, but it feels a little... Yeah, this isn't the right one, so this is the right one. Seems like it could be a size between these two. I guess they don't like to do things standard at PRS. Well, they don't make the screws, but they still make the choice. The screws are pretty tight. If they weren't quite that tight, I might just loosen them with a screwdriver and then use the screw gun to remove them. But they feel pretty tight, so I'd rather just do everything by hand. Also, it is an expensive guitar, so yeah, I do have insurance, but the insurance has a deductible. I think $500 deductible, right? So it kind of doesn't cover everything. Okay. And here comes the, 5 springs. Yeah, we're going to be putting 11 gauge strings on this. So, well, I don't know if it came with 5 springs from the factory or if 2 springs were added at some later time. I don't know. Okay. So, let's put all sharp metal objects away and let's remove the strings. I like to just make sure that the tuning machines work, which is, so, you know, you can just cut the strings off. It's not going to damage the neck if you release tension all at once. Obviously, if you have a guitar with a Floyd Rose, you can release tension all at once when you do a dive and nothing happens to the neck, right? But I like to check the tuning machines. I mean, we had to fix one, right? So just want to make sure they work. Now, I'm not a big fan of these kind of locking tuners, but this is what we have on this guitar. I noticed there's a little chip here, chipped off, a little part missing. Okay. Those are Schaller tuning machines. So they should be reliable, one would hope. I think Schaller invented locking tuners, right? If I'm not mistaken. I don't know, I'm not a good guitar historian. Ask Keith Williams. Is that his name? 5 Watt World? I think so. I know he's Keith, right? So that's a good show on YouTube. Check him out. Yeah. We can pull the strings out. I just want to make sure there's a straight kind of. Yeah, so I do watch 5 Watt World as often as I can. It's become an encyclopedia of guitar stuff, right? I mean, he really knows his history and all. And I like the clean look of his channel. I remember posting a few comments recently on his on some of his videos, and he replied. So that was nice. You know, he's got quite a few subscribers. So I'm going to pronounce your avatar Midmo 180. Is that okay? Or should I say 0180? What are your thoughts on PRS as a whole? As a whole. So we're talking about PRS, not PRS SC, right? So first of all, I like the fact that guitars are made in the United States. I think that's a good thing. And if PRS, again, not PRS SC, but PRS guitars are going to continue being made in the United States, like Gibson guitars, I like that for sure. And, you know, that's not because of some kind of political opinion. You know, I live here, so I you know, I like to have a healthy economy, right? So I think it's a good thing to do it here. Now, I'll be honest with you, they're not to my personal taste. But neither are many other guitars that are good guitars. I'm a very kind of meat and potatoes kind of guy when it comes to guitars. When it comes to legacy brands, I like Gibson and I like Fender. And I have a lot of issues with them, okay, from a quality/technical point of view. Less issues than I have with PRS, by far. I'm sorry, more issues. That's what I meant to say. So with PRS, I've had some issues here and there. I think that guitars, since they're made out of wood, are going to be unpredictable in the way they age. So a neck might twist, a neck might develop an uneven relief, so not equal on both sides, things like that. So there's nothing that a builder can do to eliminate all possibilities that the guitar is not going to settle in a certain way after a few years. So wood has internal tensions between the individual fibers, and as moisture leaves or re-enters the wood grain, it's going to do its thing. Now, I don't own one. They're not visually to my taste. I think they have some innovative features, like, you know, this, obviously, the typical PRS cutaway, whatever you call it, this thing, right? I think that's a really good idea they came up with. I don't like their floating bridges. So on a Strat, you can set it up decked, or you can set it up as a floater. And you know, the Strat bridge isn't the best design, obviously, but this one, the PRS, you cannot set it up decked. It's always going to be a floater. Like a GNL is always going to be a floater. And I think that's an oversight in design. I think with these kind of bridges, you should be able to set them up both ways. So I know that there are some PRS guitars, you know, with a hardtail, but I'm talking about their vibrato system. Yeah. This is too much for me. Like, you know, the, what is it called? Not flame. What's the word again? Yeah, quilt maple. So I like plain guitars, you know, with dots and a plain piece of wood. That's my taste. So let's check the frets, because we are going to be polishing them. So their frets are definitely better polished than Gibson. So this is not a new guitar, so I don't know who else worked on it, when, or what they did to it. But Gibson frets really aren't well polished from the factory. I think this is, you know, pretty much how it comes out of a PRS factory. But we can do a little better. So we want to remove some of the scratches that were going up and down the fingerboard. There's not many, but we can see some there on the side, and then running across. Okay, like that. So we want to just give it a good polish and buff. Before we do that, now that the strings are off, I'm just going to check to make sure that there are no uneven frets. Here, with a fret rocker. This one's a little high. Now, this microphone isn't going to pick up this sound, but I can show you. So I'm going to mark it off a little bit like this. Let's bring this camera here. That's the one. Zoom in and focus. I don't know how visible it is, but you can see the red marker here. So it's a little high on this side. And now I'm going to use this tool, this side, okay? And you can see that it's scratched off the finish, I mean the red off a little bit. So I'm doing it in this direction. Okay, and now I can show you with a microscope that it was in fact a little high. Now I doubt that that would make any difference, but it was there, we found it, and it's just a little touch up. So you can see this, how it removed some of the red, right? So now obviously it can only remove the red if the fret is a little bit higher than the two adjacent frets, because what we do is we take the fret kisser. This is a file, it's at the same level as this is a precision tool, right? And when I go like this, it'll only remove material if this fret is a little bit higher. And now with a fret rocker, I check to see if it's still rocking. So I want to kind of vibrate it, and it wasn't rocking anymore. So that was just a quick little touch-up. And now I'm going to continue up the fingerboard just to make sure we don't have any more uneven frets. Again, I'm kind of vibrating. This one's a little high as well. I'm gonna mark it off. Same amount, just a tiny little bit. Okay. And I do the same thing. I just remove some of this material. Okay, and once again, let me just clean it up first, but I can show you through the microscope that in fact it was just a little bit higher. Now on the treble side, right there where we're bending strings, yeah, it's a good idea to do this. Okay, we can see it right there. So once again, I initially marked it off in red, and as you can see, it removed a little bit of material from the fret. So now I just take my fret rocker and I double check that it's not rocking, and then I check the two adjacent frets as well. That's it. Done. Okay? So that's what those tools are for. You know, I have them, and I'd rather take care of little things like this immediately than neglect to do it and then have some kind of issue when I'm doing a setup. Although I don't think those two minor discrepancies would be even noticed in a setup. Okay, so I did look through the microscope to look at the fret. Hold on, I need to, a text message came in. I need to reply just with a yes. Okay, that's it. Now I'm back with you. Okay, so I have sandpaper of various grades. So let's just talk about this. So sandpaper removes material. Any kind of polishing and buffing removes material in minuscule quantities, right? So we want to determine which sandpaper grit to use for this. And the logic is the finest grit possible that will remove the scratches and work from there. Okay, so let's say if I try 1000 grit and it kind of worked, but I can kind of see the previous scratches underneath the new shine, right? Then I know, oh, I gotta go a step back and try with 800 grit first. See if that removes all the existing scratches. And if it does, then I know that my starting grit is 800 grit, if that makes sense. And I can really only determine this by, you know, viewing the threads through the microscope first. I'm looking at second thread. So if you see this, so why is it important to remove the scratches? So you have a few scratches that are kind of crossing in this direction, like right here, you can see this. But the string isn't hitting this area here. The string is hitting this area, it's skipping this area, and then it's hitting this area. So if you have some little initial scratches like this, they can become bigger scratches over time as the string is vibrating across this section. And here, I believe that that's what happened. Okay? So we definitely want to remove all of them and just be able to prepare the surface. Now here we have this scratch going in this direction. This is from a wound string. And here we have the typical, what would we call longitudinal scratches against the thread, right? So that's from the wound strings. So the wound strings have windings, obviously, and they have these high spots. If you don't change your strings often enough, the same high spots of the same strings are going to be hitting the same exact parts of the frets and producing these marks. Okay? So what we want to do first is a technique that I use. I have this, sorry. Well, look at that. Quite a few people are watching. Sushi gang, sushi gang. Sick view, he says. Okay. Maybe I'll read your comments later, but this is something that I use. So it's got a finer grit on this side and a coarser grit on this side. So initially this was 600 and this was 800, but it's been used so much that this must be now 1500 grit, I don't know. So what I'll do is I will first, I gotta really use this side, but all right, I'll use the fine side just to see what happens. So I'm not really doing a level crown and polish job. And you can see how, you know, the frets are are being dressed like this. Okay, so I call this fret dressing. Okay, and now we'll look at the same spot of the same exact fret again and compare. So you can see it's kind of been polished up. So where did we have that area? Here, right? So you remember those two little scratch marks? They're still there, right? Which is exactly why I thought I should be using the one that's a little coarser, just by intuition. And that's this side. I can feel the difference. Okay, so let's use the coarser side and do the same thing. Now, you can see that I'm going in this direction, right? You could go a little bit like in the X pattern. And then finish off like this. And, you know, clean it. And now let's look at that same fret again. So yeah, I think we're still seeing this little thing here, right? Now, but let's say I won't worry about this too much because we will be using a different tool later that's actually going to take off these two edges, okay? Here as well, and here as well. So now I only want to worry about the upper surface, not close to the edge, but like in the middle. So this is also going to be taken off later. And this is getting better, right? Those gouges are pretty much gone. Yeah, I think I'm good with that. I'm basically going to do my first dressing with this side, going in this direction, or like I said, could be a little bit of an X pattern, right? And then finishing off like this. So we want to do the minimum amount of this work on the frets as possible. And we are really talking about, so one thing I want to emphasize, anytime we talk about polishing of any kind, we are removing material. Now we're getting close to the pickups. I do have these covers for guitars. Right here is this a PRS? That's a PRS, yeah. Yeah, I'll put it here. I'll put some tape here and there. And that'll protect the pickups and this area of the guitar. Yeah. It's not for the same exact model, but it's close enough. Okay? And we want to put some tape here. It's really this area that we're protecting. Okay. That's that. Okay. And now, this is ripping. Now I can even go a little bit beyond the fingerboard. Finishing like this. Kind of look. I don't really need to look through the microscope every single time. So, you know, just take my time to kind of see. On the base side, I want to look for those, you know, deep scratch marks, longitudinal ones. This is good. All right. So that was which side? Yeah, that was this side. So now we go over the same with this. And that's to remove the scratches from the previous pass. Now, I don't want to spend too much time with this because we are going to be using another technique now that might hit the tops as well, that will hit the tops a little bit. It won't remove a lot of materials from the tops because the frets are a little flat on top, right? So it's missing that part of the crown. So it'll be hitting the sides of the frets. And same thing again. I need to determine which grit to use. So here I have my grits. This one is 1000 grit. I think I need to start with this, and maybe I'll go down to 800. Let me see. And I have these tools. I gotta decide which size to use. I think it'll be this size. So either this. Okay, yeah. And I will try again on one fret. So let me try on the first fret. It's already taped off. I know we were kind of looking at the second fret here, but let's try the first fret. So that's going to put some scratch marks in this direction, obviously. But the scratch marks are finer than the pre-existing ones, hopefully. And we want to do a quick inspection. Okay, so this is what we're seeing. So once again, we want to get rid of all the scratch marks that are going like this. And yeah, so these are off to the side, and they are not going to be affecting anything at the top of the crown. Now the question is, can these be buffed out with a couple of passes, or do I need to go down to 800 grit? Now if we look at this one, it's got some scratches here. It's got this thing here. Yeah, I'm thinking. Let me try another pass with the 1000 grit first. See what that does. I'd like to avoid going to 800 grit if I can avoid it. Okay, let's have a look again at that same fret. Much better. Yeah, I think we can just stick with the 1000 grit. Yeah, that's my best judgment. All right, so now I am just going to go up the fingerboard with 1000 grit. And I'll just be moving these two tapes to protect the fingerboard. And this will take a minute, because after this one we are actually going to do the 1500 grit. So that's also going to remove a little more material. And, you know, honestly, I can see if there are scratches just by looking through the magnifying glass. It's like these frets at the beginning just need a little more attention than the rest of them. So I'm doing another pass. So I always use a fresh part of the sandpaper for each pass, right? This is good. So I'm definitely going to finish this guitar today, just to make the viewing experience a little more exciting. How about I also set up this camera? This one has a nice lens, kind of. Yeah. Okay, everything's good. So let's talk about this streaming business. So you guys know that you are watching a live stream. Obviously, you watching live. Those of you watching in the future, well, now I'm just reminding you this is a live stream. So this is a Guitar Quackery Live, and this is the one and only live streaming guitar repair channel so far. So at first I didn't really know if I was gonna continue this channel, but I kind of, you know, then I realized, well, I think this is the only live streaming guitar repair channel where you can watch a technician work in real time. So I am sharing all this knowledge because knowledge needs to be shared. That's actually what makes up a civilization, right? I don't really keep many secrets in this business. Maybe one or two, little things. If I feel that it's somehow in my best interest. I can't even think of many things now that I'm keeping to myself. I can't think of anything right now. Oh yeah, I have like a finishing procedure on the fret polish. So the only reason I'm keeping that, I hate to use the word secret, is because, I might try to sell it or something in the future. So, not because I don't want people to know. So, as I was saying, the one and only guitar live streaming guitar repair channel. So I kind of like the idea of this being a unique thing for the time being. I very much would like to see other people do the same thing at some point. I think that would be exciting to have more of this on YouTube. But now I'm, so let me first explain how I got the idea. I got the idea during the COVID lockdown period. So I wanted to kind of continue business and wanted to find a way to service guitars during the lockdown. And I was already toying with the idea of having a YouTube channel anyway. So sorry, I'm looking for the right grid here. That's 1000 grid. Okay. So I was first doing remote diagnostics with curbside pickup and drop-off and pickup. So basically you can drop off your guitar and we don't have much contact, social distancing and all that. And then I do a remote diagnostics just the way I'm doing this now, so that we can talk about the work that needs to be done on the guitar. And I'm still doing those remote diagnostics. Sometimes when I can't make an appointment with a customer, people have jobs, obviously, so during my work day, they just want to drop off the guitar. So they can drop off the guitar, and then I am going to schedule a Zoom call. Usually it's at night or something, right? And they will have the opportunity to just see everything and discuss service options with me. So that's how it all started. And then at one point I thought of the idea of doing live streams like I'm doing now. Live streaming. So so now I'm doing it. But I want to change the way that I do business. So I used to work on maybe 40 guitars per week, which comes to about 2,000 guitars per year, doing anything from very minor work like an output jack repair to a refret or neck reset or structural repairs, whatever, right? So I no longer do little repairs. Now I just do full service. If you bring your guitar for an output jack, we'll be doing everything on the guitar that the guitar needs so that it, works at its best potential. And if that's not what the customer is looking for, then what I most often do is just a referral. I just send the information to someone else in town, or give the customer the number or numbers. But I want to reduce my workload even more so that I only work on repairs that would be interesting for YouTube. This is why it's important to monetize this channel, which is why it's important that you click like if you like it. And subscribe if you, So in that case, I could build a YouTube archive of this kind of educational content that can always be accessed in the future. And the customers would still pay me for the work, but I would work on less guitars, but I would also monetize through YouTube. So hopefully I could make that work financially. So that's the direction I'm headed right now. That's what's in my head. Yeah, so I'm not looking to expand the business by expanding physically. I really don't want that at all. I don't want to have any more responsibilities than I already have. I just want to expand the business by spreading out the services, I guess. I guess I'm doing a service if I'm sharing knowledge. So, do you think that's a good idea? Now, I would still be continuing my regular channel, Guitar Quackery. I would be continuing this channel. And I'm also thinking of starting another channel. I already talked about this. So this channel is called Guitar Quackery Live. The main channel is called Guitar Quackery. And the third channel would be called Guitar Quackery Business. So I would just be talking about the business of guitars. Let's see if people find that interesting or not. So instead of having one channel, I would have a network of channels. Hopefully, it will still be the same amount of work. So instead of posting a video that I make on a separate playlist, I just post it on a separate channel, right? Same amount of work, I guess. Because so far, I haven't posted anything about the business of guitars on the main channel, because the channel already has subscribers, and those subscribers have not subscribed for that type of content because that content does not exist on the main channel. I don't talk about the business of guitars on the main channel. So instead of diluting my content with a lot of business videos, I think it's better to just post them on a separate channel, and it'll be a business channel, and whoever wants to subscribe to that, they can subscribe to that. So maybe some people want to subscribe to both or to all three channels. Yeah. And I have ideas for other channels as well. I actually also do music lessons, but I only have 2 students at this time. And maybe I could have a music lesson channel. But, you know, there are so many great guitar players with channels already, so I don't know how much I can contribute. So that channel would be called maybe Guitar Quackery Lessons. I don't know. My head is not there yet. I'm just saying that if I start putting lessons on my main channel, again, it dilutes the content. You know, people signed up to watch me fix guitars. So why is this guy now teaching music? But if I put it on a separate channel, then it can attract its own audience. But yeah, but I'm not doing that yet or anytime soon. I'm just mentioning it because I just want to explain this multi-channel idea. I do feel that some channels just have too much of a wide range of niches within the niche. Yeah. So with a live streaming channel, I want to do archives, tutorials, also rants, I guess, like I'm doing now maybe. Is that a rant? Not really. I mean, is this a rant? I don't know. I don't think this is a rant, right? I'm just sharing some ideas, letting you know what's in my head, what I'm thinking. About the channel. Many people left this live stream. There's only 2 people watching. This is a really popular channel, right? I do need to monetize it. So if you want to help me out, you can just, tell people about this channel. You can go on guitar forums and just tell them, hey, there's this interesting channel. The guy is live streaming from the workbench. You can watch him work on guitars. So my computer screen is over there. Only 1 viewer left. Okay. So is it because it's late, or is it because I'm boring? Or maybe both? Well, I'm already 1 hour into this. Over an hour. Okay, 1 more fret, and then I'll take a look at the frets, and then switch grits. Okay. I see a little something here. That's better. Okay, I am a bit sleepy. A couple of times I fell asleep during the live streams. Started dreaming, narrating my dreams. It happened and it was funny. So I'm done with a 1000 grit. That's from a 1500 grit. I still got some left. So I'm not sure that I even need to protect the board. It wasn't slipping off at all. So let's just do it this way. And of course now it's going to slip. Well, I have insurance with a deductible, which means it's not going to cover anything minor. Okay. So without the tape, I guess it's a little more challenging to keep track of which fret I just did. So before I started working on the PRS today, I worked on a Martin guitar, a Martin Ed Sheeran signature model with some structural issues. It was interesting, so I recommend maybe you should check the archive. And if you haven't seen, so I think you're aware of the fact that you're watching part 4 of this series, of this PRS service. So parts 1, 2, and 3, I believe, are also interesting to watch because it was quite an innovative repair of a tuning machine knob here for the G string. And obviously, you know, the camera systems here are pretty good, so you can see everything very clearly. Okay. We are about halfway through the frets. Well, halfway with this grit, but then we have all the buffing and stuff as well. So I do, I guess, 2 types of live streams, public and non-public. The non-public live streams are basically my archives. I've done a few of those, and you won't be able to watch those videos or even find them on the channel, right? Because they are not public. You would be able to view them if I sent you a link, if you had the link. But without the link, you can't find them at all. So I'm actually using this live streaming archive to kind of analyze my my business, if I'm making money or if I'm losing money on certain jobs. So every business should figure out what it costs to run a business. Let's say if you just pay rent and have no other expenses, you would obviously be able to divide your monthly rent by the number of days in the month, and then figure out if you have 8-hour days or 10-hour days or whatever, you figure out how much you're paying per work hour to work, right? And I say if you're paying, I'm just going to say a number, $20 per hour to be in your shop, and you're charging $18 per, or let's say $10 per hour for a repair, you're basically paying $10 per hour to a landlord to work on somebody's guitar. So that's no good. So I am archiving all of the repairs now, even those that I'm not streaming publicly like I'm doing with this one. And that allows me to then go back to the archives and add the hours and figure out how much time I spent on each one of the guitars. And obviously I know how much I charged. And I figure out how much I make by the hour. Okay, we're almost done here. I almost just fell asleep again. Ugh. Sorry. I kind of dozed off for a moment there. Because I'm sitting. I actually did take a nap right here a few hours ago on this workbench. I was doing a whole bunch of paperwork and YouTube stuff this morning at my house. So I didn't get much work done today. Well, I mean, I got work done. I just didn't get much guitar servicing work done today. Okay. Yeah, so, oh, I forgot about this camera here. Well, whatever. Now you can see. So, so they're not completely polished yet, right? This is just the first two passes. And now let's do the buffing. I have a new little tool. Oh, YT Party Tonight is here. Building a channel like this, I think, takes patience and time because it's niche. Yeah, you're right. Oh, you're in LA, by the way. Okay. I'd like to know how you grew. I'd like to know about how you grew your business to the point you were working on around 3,000 guitars a year. 2,000. I used to in NYC, and how you recommend one might go about starting and building up such a business. Yes, that's exactly why I want to do the other channel. So 2,000 guitars, if you do the math, about 40 guitars per week. I mean, I did the math a long time ago. Check it. It's about 2,000 guitars per year. 40 guitars per week in a 50-week cycle is about 2,000. You know, about 40 guitars a week, about around, right? Is around 2,000 guitars per year. So, but that counts, you know, anything from just doing a little output jack repair or just restringing guitars, which I no longer do. I used to, but I no longer do that. So I could not be working on 2,000 guitars per year doing all this detailed work, obviously, right? That's that couldn't never happen, right? So Yeah. So that's exactly why. And, you know, why tea party tonight? I don't know if you noticed, but on our last chat, I called you TY party tonight. I even typed your name wrong. Sorry about that. And you know why? Because you have the little avatar that says TV in it. So, but your name is YT, so it kind of looks the same, almost. Yeah, sorry about that. YT. I don't know if that's YouTube party, or I was kind of wondering about that. Yeah, so the buffing thing. So this thing broke. Well, not this one, but, you know, this one broke. But I had two more. In fact, I had a spare one, so one of them broke. And the spare one is one of those now. But then I wanted to buy another spare one, and these have been discontinued. They have that annoying mini or micro USB connection that is, you know, doesn't go both ways. So thank God now there's a new one, a new model available with a USB-C. I wish it was Lightning, but I don't think they'll make anything anymore with Lightning, right? But anyway, USB-C is much better than this annoying USB thing. So I bought this one, 3-speed, and what is this, 5-speed. Okay, I wish it was red, like Guitar Quackery colors, but yeah. $2,000 per year is about 1 per hour. Well, it depends how many hours you work. Okay, I work overtime. So, see what time it is? No? Okay. Yeah, and like I said, that includes restringing, which only takes a few minutes. So I used to do restringing. Let's say you bring a guitar that's in whatever condition, you just want your strings changed. Okay, I just do it while I talk to you. Boom, boom, boom. That's it. But I no longer do that. Now the rule is the guitar needs to leave the bench in a certain condition. And people know that before they bring their guitars. I have them read a PDF, okay? And if they don't agree, then I'm happy to do a referral or something. And if people just call me for restringing, I just say that I just do full service. That's it. Okay. All right. Where are we? Okay, we're going to do buffing. So I keep saying this, links are in the description. Those are Amazon affiliate links. And I'm required to say that they pay me a small commission at no cost to you. I'm sick of saying that, but, you know, if you read the Amazon rules, supposedly you're supposed to say that every single time you mention a link. So, whatever. So, just need to drink. Six people watching. Not 600. 6. All right. So, 6 people. If you like it so far, I think it's time to click. Thank you. Buffing. Now let's not forget about this camera. Here it is. It's going to be the first pass. This is the red one. Red. They come in different colors. And I just told you about the links. So no need to ask me in the chat. The links are already there. And I forgot my polishing rag. And I forgot to put a link to this, so I'll just tell you what it is. If I can find it, here it is. It's the Music Nomad rag. So I'll try to remember to put a link to it. Okay. And I'm not affiliated with Music Nomad. But I do use some of their products. And I do use some of StewMac products. So yeah, so YT party tonight. So I guess you are a repair technician. Okay, that's cool. Yeah, so I don't, you know, I don't like to criticize other people's work, but obviously we all know that sometimes things aren't done right. And this is one reason. So, and by the way, I've made plenty of mistakes. Just because I have a YouTube channel, that doesn't mean that I do everything right. Okay, but I try to do my best. But this is one reason why I'm doing this. I actually like the idea of just guitar services being elevated, and of people thinking highly of guitar technicians, because it helps the business, right? It's kind of when people say, "Oh, doctors, I don't trust doctors," or "I don't trust doctors anymore." So I don't think that's good, right? So I don't want it to be like that in my business. I want people to trust guitar technicians, as in all of them. And other people do things differently. It doesn't mean that I think that they're doing it wrong. I've changed my techniques many times, and I keep changing them still. And even if I don't use some techniques that I've used in the past, that doesn't mean that I think those techniques are bad. Just kind of change, you know, things. One reason for change would be efficiency. Right now, I'm not very efficient. Spend too much time on these things. But I like to elevate the standard of my services and, you know, charge what I think it's worth. And it's not going to be for every customer. So some people bring their guitars to a shop, and the guitars look like they've been pulled out of a sewer. I've seen plenty of guitars like that. And in the past, if they just wanted restringing, I would just restring them. And, you know, then, you know, that's it. I wouldn't even attempt to clean them unless they paid me, you know, for the cleaning. So I thought about that, and I don't want to do that anymore. So imagine if you go to a hairdresser and your hair is dirty and you say, I just want a little trim. And then you walk out of the hairdresser with dirty hair. I don't know. Would a hairdresser agree to do that? I don't know. I never go to hairdressers. I use a Flowbee at home, as maybe you can tell. That's my hair. So, why tea party tonight? You say you're from LA. I hope you're not affected by, you know, I guess you're not because you are on YouTube and all. I have one friend in LA. She hasn't been affected. So I'm talking about the fires. So I realize that some people might be watching this years from now, not understanding what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the fires in LA. So the other reason for the private archives that I'm just doing, say, I'm logging everything, right? Now I'm logging everything, but it takes a little bit of additional work to organize playlists for these public live streams. For the private ones, for the archival ones, you know, I just do it. Don't really need to worry about the thumbnail, or, you know, it just goes on one playlist, which is my archives. That's it, secret archives. So, if at any point in the future, let's say the customer says, oh, you did this to my guitar, or whatever, I can pull the archive and I can share the link with the customer and say, no, you can watch exactly, I did this and that. That's it. Also, it allows me, enables me to log the time that I spent on the guitar. So I was really never good at that kind of record keeping. I tried a few times in the past, but never really worked out. Now, I just look at the recordings at the timestamp and I see how long the streams were, right? Of course, there's always more time spent around each project, you know. You prepare the tools or whatever, right? So, but yeah, it gives me a good idea. With some customers, you spend a long time just communicating and talking and writing. So now I have a spreadsheet where I log every project and how much time I spent on it and how much I charged. And it tells me if I'm hitting my numbers. So I just started this. I mean, yeah, technically it started last year, but I want to, by the end of this year, I'll have a good idea about how well I'm doing, actually, in terms of hitting my numbers. So going back to that 2,000 guitars per year, so it just depends what kind of shop it is, right? So I used to do quick oil changes and, as well as repairs. And I changed my services, basically. Especially with YouTube. Sorry, my battery is running low. I see a lot of comments, I can't read them, sorry, because I'm working. Yeah, so, but thank you for the comments. Yeah, especially with YouTube, I can't be distracted with, little jobs. What is true is that you can make a lot of money if you offer restringing, restringing only, and little jobs like restringing and output jack repairs, strap button install or repair. Because that, you don't even need to enter the customer whole information, right? You just take the payment. Just take this, put the number, click, done. Right? So, but I guess I'll talk more about all that on the business channel. So this also changed my strategy in how I even sell services. Because before, when people would just show up with a broken string, it would give me the opportunity to examine the guitar and advise them that they need this or that as setup, or not repair, or, you know, whatever. And it would often, very often result, actually very often result in a bigger service. I don't know exactly what percentage of people, but you'd be surprised. And some people would just say, no, I just want to change the strings, or strap button, or whatever. But where was I going with this? Oh yeah. So now, because I don't even put the guitar on the bench like that, I changed the way I book the services. So usually I try not to pick up the phone and just answer briefly and send them a PDF that explains the full service policy. So some people never even reply to that. Some people do. But if they agree to the terms, then next thing I do is I send a link to the booking calendar, and they need to pay for the appointment. And that's non-refundable. And I'm not saying that all shops should work like that. I'm just saying how I do it. And for now, the appointment, like exam fee, is applicable towards the repair. But I'm thinking of changing that. I mean, if you bring your cat to the vet, you know, you pay for the exam, but that's not applicable towards whatever procedure they need to do, if a procedure needs to be done. That's just the exam fee. If you go to a lawyer, same thing happens. Doctor, vet, dentist, everyone, except guitar repair techs, I guess. Yeah, I think I want to change that. So, I don't know. So, what have we here? 2 frets left, 3 frets left. And then the, mechanical setup is going to be pretty quick at the end, I guess. I'm thinking of buying a fret shield for the PRS. Maybe that's my next purchase. I have 4 scale lengths so far. I have the Fender 25.5-inch scale length. I have the Epiphone scale length. I have the Gibson scale length. And I have the 34-inch bass scale length. But maybe I'll buy one for the PRS as well. I didn't really like the fret shield at first when it first came out. And I still don't like it for every job. But for some jobs, it's appropriate. Okay. Yes, so the old one used to warm up, and now it's that's this one, and now it's completely broken. So the light comes on, but it doesn't work. I think the motor's busted. Rubbish Guitar Bloke is here. Good morning to you, Doctor. Okay, let's see. Oh, wow, 2.5 miles away. No, that's not very far, not even just for LA. So, yeah, I can't imagine what people are going through in LA. So I'm sure you know a lot of people who lost everything, right? So I'm sorry to hear about that. Obviously, I can't imagine, but you know. I don't know, is this boring to watch someone, you know, polish frets every time? It's always the same, right? Sorry, I don't know if it's a fingerprint or something. I always use the full speed, by the way. The slower speeds don't have enough power, I noticed. So yeah, the advantage of the fret shield is you don't need to turn off the thing every time, right? You just go from fret to fret. So that's the advantage for sure. So yeah, I am going to buy the fret shield for the PRS. For the PRS scale length. Eventually. As in, maybe next week. So now I didn't turn it off. You still need to move the fret guard every time. So with the fret shield, you put it on once and you just... So it's a little investment, saves time. So I think it makes sense. The first one I bought was... No, I bought two of them at once, the Gibson and the Fender scale lengths. Yeah, I want to help people build businesses for guitar repair. I am in favor of repairing guitars instead of buying new ones, for many good reasons. We need forests, so I don't like the disposable society we live in. Of course, you know, a lot of companies make junk guitars that fall apart. Especially one company is like that. Very much. I talked about that company in a previous live stream. And that's one of the reasons why I don't like that company. Because their guitars spontaneously fall apart. Like this one. This guitar wasn't damaged. It just fell apart spontaneously, like many guitars made by this company. What company could that be? Oh boy, I have no idea. I don't know. In fact, a lot of them fall apart beyond repair. I mean, anything can be repaired, but, you know, who's going to pay for the time? Where's my tape? Yeah, it's not sticky anymore. A friend of mine was, I mean, I just saw him yesterday, I think. Also a repair technician. And he was recently, I don't know how recently now, I forgot to ask, in India. I haven't seen him in a while. With his girlfriend. And he proposed. And the day after, she had some pain. They went there for a wedding, so they ended up missing the wedding. So she had some pain, and then the pain moved within 24 hours, I think, from here to here. And she works she's a physician's assistant, so she knew right away it's her appendix. So she went to the doctor. So now that's in India, right? You can read about how careful you need to be with medical services in India, right? So she went to the hospital because she knew that she needed surgery. That was her appendix. And they confirmed that. And no doctor, no surgeon was available, like tomorrow, right? Because tomorrow is, or was, I think he told me like the Kite Festival or something like that. And no one wants to miss that. So there's no doctor on call, no surgeon on call for emergencies, nothing. So she had to wait an extra day. And her appendix got ruptured. So now it was a more complicated surgery. And they missed the wedding and all that. So because of it, when they came back, she wanted to have a full exam and, you know, make sure that everything was right and all that. And they discovered some lumps on her thyroid or thyroids, I guess both of them. And she found out that she had cancer. And they removed her thyroids. So now she needs to be on medication forever. And that was that. So that happened, all that, one day after he proposed. Not that he would change his mind because of it, I'm just saying. So now they have a different life, I think. And he's a guitar repair technician. A good friend of mine. I won't tell you his name. I don't have permission. I think he would be okay with it, but I didn't ask him. So things can happen quickly in life, unexpectedly, for sure. And those are not old people. I think they're in their 30s. Well, I know, no, they are. I know they're in their early 30s. 32, I think my friend must be, and she looks about the same. Really good guy and good technician too. I think he's been a tech for maybe 10 years or so, maybe even longer. Also, he's an active musician, and he has with a partner, they have a recording studio in New Jersey. But yeah, things happen like this in life, like the LA fires, right? Another reason why I want to reduce the workload is, to be perfectly honest, I'm just overworked. I just can't accept so many jobs anymore. Now the restringing customers, you don't really need to deal with them. I mean, it's a good thing if it works for you, right? Because with those, you can make more by the hour. You invest less time. If you can restring in 10 minutes, right? Whatever. Even quicker, right? It does add up to a nice chunk of income at the end of the year. So now the minimum service here is going to be a setup with no guarantee that I'll be able to do a setup. And that's something else I've learned from mistakes. Many times, I've seen issues on guitars, and the customer just wants to do a setup. Okay, it worked on the other guitar, or it worked in the past, or this and that, supposedly. So let's just do a setup, and then things don't work. Okay, so now you're having a conversation, and this and that, and should have done. It's like, okay, are you paying me now for the time, to discuss this, what we should have done? So I remember one customer, he came with his girlfriend or wife, and she was starting to be nasty to me because things didn't get resolved. It was, a 1960s Fender bass with a neck issue, topography issue on the neck. If I recall correct, yeah. So it had some kind of hump here, like a back bow just here. And, and the nut was too low. And I told her, this is not going to work. Okay, let's try. Okay, so, against my best judgment, I, got tangled up with that. And then I had to resolve it for the price of a setup. And that, what did I end up doing? Oh, yeah, I remember what I did to resolve it. So there was here. So imagine this is a bass, right? So these frets were higher because there was some kind of hump, and this fret was lower and the nut was lower. And you couldn't just shave them down. So I think even 2 frets here, I don't know, it's been a few years since I've done that. So I think I had to pull the frets out and the nut, remove it. And if you imagine kind of shimming the frets, so I mounted them higher, these two, this one a little bit and this one noticeably more. And then I filled the gap with epoxy, and then I had to make a new nut. And all that for the price of a setup, because he wouldn't pay more because, we were talking about, he just wants to set up and he doesn't want, the thing to buzz. So Yeah, that took forever. And the girlfriend started being nasty to me. So, you know, then they don't even appreciate it. So she was being nasty because she wasn't even understanding any of it, because she wasn't involved with everything. And yeah, so the there were other situations. Okay, let me just clean a little bit. I was thinking of doing maybe one live stream without talking at all. I don't know if people would like that. Silent movies. So that girl, Tanya Shpachuk, the Ukrainian repair technician, that's the thing. Customers like that. The 60s Fender with the hump. Yeah. Vintage spec. So yeah, so Tanya, I'm sure many of you maybe know who she is on YouTube. Obviously, she's got like a channel with, I don't know, 100,000 subscribers already or something. And I like her because she's a workaholic. Just work, work, work. But she doesn't narrate her videos, and I think people watch, you know. I watch. I used to. I haven't watched her videos in a while. But would people watch a guy? I don't know. Because it's mostly guys watching, I'm sure. So there are a few little dings and scratches on this guitar. So it isn't in mint condition. So now I'm not talking, And you're still watching. Well, now I am talking. Okay, so this customer wants 11 to 49 gauge strings on this guitar. That's what he puts on all of his guitars. And I see no reason to oil this. Okay. Should I oil it? I don't think so. Let me think. I don't oil fingerboards every single time. Look. So those are the frets now. I don't see dryness here. This customer, he takes care of his guitars and humidity and all that. There's no cheese on the fingerboard. Yeah. I don't know. How about I try a little area here, see what happens. Oh, it's in the fridge. Excuse me, I'll be right back. I'm still here. So this is one disadvantage, I guess, of live streams, like in a normal work environment. Obviously, I don't worry about walking away from the workbench. But, you know, while I'm streaming, I just feel like I'm losing the audience. And I actually gain one viewer. Yeah, I like Ted Woodford's channel as well. He's phenomenal, for sure. Yeah. Sometimes I just like to listen to him. You know, he talks about the guitars and the history and this and that before he does the work, right? I learned a lot from him. Especially the history. All right, so I'm oiling it now. It's not going to hurt, especially when the oil. So I think that people who have seen me work before, you guys know that this is coconut oil. And because I just took it out of the fridge, that means that I'm really removing a microscopic layer of it. So I'm definitely not oversaturating this fingerboard. With oil, less is more. Well, I'm not sure if less is more. I just think that less is the way to go, for sure, with oil. Because oil isn't water, right? It doesn't just evaporate out of the fingerboard. And I used to actually have a small fridge right there. Yeah, for a little while. I didn't like it. I need to get another one, another small fridge right here. Yeah. But I'm going to be rebuilding this whole area, putting new shelves and, well, not new shelves, putting shelves. Here I have clutter now, and I keep that away from the cameras, obviously. All right, so we are oiling it. Ted Woodford is amazing, and he does. I think the YouTube channel really helped his business. So that worked out really good for him. And Adam Savage, did he send him a guitar or something? Yeah. So Adam Savage discovered his channel at some point, and even talked about the experience of working with Ted on his own channel. He talked about. So I'm sure that you know, got him some exposure. Okay. It was good before. I guess now it's even better. Like I said, I didn't think it really needed it, but yeah, and this is such a microscopic amount of oil. We're definitely not overdoing it, for sure. Okay, let's put the strings on. I know it's a Ziploc, but I find it annoying to pull the strings out of these Ziploc things. And then these I save. I have a whole bunch of them, and then I enter the codes. So they take up less space if I remove the Ziploc thing. Because I buy a lot of strings. Well, technically, I'm reselling them. But, yeah. Yeah, the customers don't really want those things, most of the customers. I stopped asking. So maybe you don't know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the rewards code, the Daria rewards player circle is called. So I think for most people it's not practical to keep track of that. And the Daria website is kind of, it takes a few clicks to get there. So yeah, Ted Woodford is pretty much the neck reset YouTuber. He's got so many neck resets on his channel, unbelievable. I'm doing a neck reset. I just put it on hold, to be honest with you. Those things are annoying projects. Yeah, I don't think I want to do really neck resets. Too many things can go wrong, and you know. Okay, so those are locking tuners. So we don't put many turns on them. We need to start in the correct orientation to get the best performance. I personally don't like locking tuners at all. Any kind of locking tuners. So this is a Graphtec nut. You don't need to lubricate them. And I'm not going to lubricate. It's graphite. It's a lubricant. We're also putting the Dario XS strings, which pretty much are self-lubricating strings too also. So we used to use graphite to lubricate, right? So would you put graphite on a Graphtec nut? You see, this thing is annoying. Yeah, those trem blocks. So what happened here, now this string is loose. And I know this is, it always, you know, annoys me. The ball end of the string gets stuck on these. And even if I am pulling like this and making sure that it's not stuck, every now and then I discover that it was stuck. Like this time. Huh. I wonder if people would watch me work if I just had CCTV cameras without a switcher and a multi-screen. Did the same thing happen with this one? Yeah, look at that. Unbelievable. And I pulled it, and now it's stuck like this. And I've never seen it stuck. So now it snapped. All right. But this way, it was stuck. Look at that. So completely loose. It was stuck like this. I'm gonna replicate what I saw. Got to put it in the right string slot. It was stuck like this. So let me show you. Really annoying. Okay. Like that. So this little piece of the winding got stuck like that. You see that? Just like that. So usually it gets stuck like this. When a string gets stuck, it gets stuck like this. Okay? So, this is 2 strings on 1 guitar. Happen to 2 strings in a row, right? I'm looking if there's a kink. It'll be fine. Yeah. Okay. So this has been like a slightly longer thing. So this bridge is now lifting, obviously. And we're going to remove this thing soon. Yeah, that's it. So this was 3 post-it notes doubled. Okay. We're going to finish the setup. So the little adjustment that I did before of the truss rod is no good, obviously. We didn't have all the strings on. So we'll do the truss rod adjustment first. I already checked the nut. This guitar was here for the, you know, initial assessment. Although, interestingly, the G string is looking kind of high to me. Yeah, I want to file it down a little bit. Just the G string. Okay. Yes, so that's going to be a 28 gauge file. Needs to be used for this. Oh no, what am I talking about? I'm glad I checked. Yeah. Where's my winder here? Oh, in this camera. Focusing. I could see that it's high just by looking at it. And that's the tuner that I fixed. And now I can see that the tuner is working fine. Yeah. It's also a little high at the back, I think. So we're just going to smooth it out a little bit and make sure we lower the back as well. All right. The file gets clogged up very quickly with the graph deck. So here you can have a view of this file. Gets clogged up very quickly. That's one thing that you'll notice if you work on these graph deck nuts. So you want to take the time to clean, because otherwise you'll be pushing too hard, and when you push too hard you lose control. So one thing I don't like doing is with the locking tuners, unwinding and rewinding the string. I don't like doing that. So I think you could see the accumulation of the, you know, dust in the back right there and in the front. I was also missing the B string when I got the guitar in. Now I'm seeing that the B string is also high. So the guitar wasn't missing the G, right? It was missing the B. The G was on, but we couldn't use the tuner. I hope I don't break the string now, because usually I use sacrificial strings for this job. Okay. It's still a bit too high. But almost there. Just a little bit. I'm barely touching it. So, and you can see how the string moves when you tune the guitar. Looks good. But this one is too high. I can even see it just by eye. So we need to fix the B string as well. Oh, sorry, I didn't show you the... This is the first nut that I'm filing today. That's unusual for this time of day. And that's just because I was doing a whole bunch of paperwork and YouTube stuff at home. I came here late. So paperwork because it's tax season. And YouTube stuff, like I mentioned in previous live streams, I have a consultant, so I had to write up a whole bunch of stuff for her to, you know, look into. And I read some of her really, really detailed analysis. So we'll see. I think she, I don't want to, because I'm doing like a multi-channel thing. So I don't want to take advantage of her. I'm still trying to decide how to best work with her. Now she's looking at the main channel, not this channel. But I told her, I think let's just start the business channel together. I mean, together. It's still my channel, but, with her input and all. Yeah, that's good. So we'll see. I've learned from the main channel. I'm learning from this channel. I really am not a live streaming personality, really. I don't see myself as a, the type of person that is, I think it takes a certain person to do good live streams. I'm not that person. Just this constant talking is just not really my it's floating a little bit too much. So we need to tighten the screws. And it's got 5 springs already. Okay. Maybe it's time to change the springs. And you know what? When I do this work, I prefer this neck rest. Right. So that's going to raise the pitch a little bit, obviously. So I don't want to get it completely parallel. And you know what? That's what these things are for. Okay, so now it's parallel. I'm gonna remove 2 springs for this part of the setup. Oh, please don't tell me it's one of those. Yeah, I hate those. All right, so let's loosen this. So we want it to be parallel with the body, but I don't like this top carve. You know, it's sloped a little bit at the back. So how do you do it right? Yeah, this doesn't make sense. So I guess it's got to be more raised at the back. So I am lining it up with this stick so that it's parallel to this part, which is the only flat part of the guitar. Yeah. Okay. So let's do that. Now let me use the tuner, the GarageBand tuner. GarageBand here. Almost ran out of the battery. Tuner, okay. So I'll be seeing the tuner on my, there. Oh, I just realized that you weren't seeing me. I walked away and, yeah. Oops. Okay. Okay, so now that it's perfectly in tune, we want to check the truss rod. The neck rest is right here against the heel. We want to tighten it a little bit. Too much. Okay. Okay, great. So 6 1,000s here, 8 1,000s here. Perfect. We have a little bit of a differential relief in a good sense. Okay. Let me get the hex screwdrivers. I don't know which size this is. I just kind of check. Oh, this is it. 51 thousandths of an inch size. Okay. What is this, 12 or 14 inch radius? I should know that. Oh no, it's going to be 10, right? Yeah, what am I talking about? 10. Where's my feeler gauge here? So I put the radius gauge here over the fret. Tight here. It's tight here. And in the middle, it's tight. Right? So that's the 10-inch radius gauge. And now let's check the action on the treble side. That's a little too high. So that's something I noticed on PRSs. You can put the saddle down all the way sometimes to get the right action. It's not all the way down yet, but it's very close. Now it's almost all the way down. I want it at 60 1,000ths. Okay, so now it's a little bit below 60, so I do need to raise just a tiny bit. And I'm looking that the saddle is parallel to the bridge plate, so that both screws get the same tension, right? Or pressure. Now I raised it too much. Okay. That's gotta be it now. Yeah. Okay. just slightly higher than I think the customer wants. Sometimes I do minor adjustments when the customers pick up their guitars. Okay. And now let's do the other saddles adjustments. Okay. I want the saddle to be parallel, right? Okay, now let's do the B string. Sorry. I think now you must be getting good sound because it's patched through the audio interface. So I went a little too low. Okay, that's it. Check if the saddles are parallel. This one is leaning a little bit, so I need to raise this side and lower this side. This one, the same thing. So now let's just double check. Yeah. This is right. And now we do the compensation or intonation, however you want to call it, which we do with the Phillips head. Gotta find the right size. I think that's the right size. Yeah. We do that in playing position. This one's dead on. Okay, what about this one? Okay, needs to go forward a little bit. Okay, now escape, go to the D. It's dead on. Now let's try the A. Just a tiny. Now it's sharp. Okay, now I'll try the G. That on, B. All right, so that's good. I could do the pickups now, or I can do the springs first. Since I'm plugged into the audio interface, it makes more sense to do the springs. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove this block. But I can tighten these springs a little bit first anyway, because I know they're too loose. that's going to throw the guitar out of tune, right? So I can tighten them until I see that it starts to move. There you go. So probably now the guitar went flat a little bit, so let me just tighten a little bit. And let's see. I'm just gonna, any string like the D, for example. So it's a bit flat, which means I tune it from the back. Okay. That's one of the springs. I'm gonna keep that claw parallel. So now the other spring. Okay, so now it's back in tune. I check to see that this is kind of the way I wanted it to be aligned. Yeah, okay. And we good. I don't want to wear down the frets. So I am going to disconnect the guitar from the audio interface. So let me kill the sound here. Let's quit the GarageBand app. And let's plug it into the amplifier. I could do it through the audio interface. I would just need to put my headphones on. So visually the neck pickup looks a little lower, but let's hear there's a volume difference, I guess. Oh. Yeah, it's too low and we need more volume out of it. And I think the bridge pickup is too high. You can measure these things. I feel this measurement is okay to eyeball it. So we try to find the balance that, you know, they sound the same volume or that the bridge is a bit louder. I'm good with this. I see I didn't spend much time on this. I'm gonna, you know, make sure the guitar is clean. Make sure I don't add this to my collection of lost trusswork covers. So let's put it back. Also, technicians have collections of lost, whatever you call these, back plates. Usually from a Strat. Well, I already cleaned the guitar, right? Gonna put a little bit of wax. I usually just, do the neck. But let's put this cover back. Like I said, I have a few in my collection already. I don't need one more. So with wood screws, I always explain, I don't always explain it, but I do it back first until it clicks and then go forward. Okay. And I am going to use the power tool. These are long screws, a little too long. I put it on 1, the torque setting. And the slower speed. And I don't tighten it with the machine. I just come close. So the torque setting is just insurance. If I go a little too far, the torque is set to 1. And it's a 12 volt. I guess I should put a link to this as well. So not an 18 volt, a 12 volt. I don't want a lot of power for guitars. All right. Yeah, I don't even put wax every time. But if I do it, I want to focus on the neck and then just buff it up a little bit. Don't remove all of it, obviously. That's the whole point. Very thin coat. And this buffing cloth, this one, I use only for waxing. I know what you're thinking. What about under the strings? Yeah, what about it? I don't know. I just mostly like it on the neck. You can kind of feel the difference. It can make the neck nice and slippery. And you see how little I put? Yeah. And we're done. This is it, the PRS. It says PRS on the, well, it doesn't say PRS on the headstock, but yeah. The birds. Yes, somebody was asking me, who was it again? Yeah, Midmo. I'm just going to call you Midmo. What I think of PRS is, I guess you're going to have to watch the replay. I like different guitars, that's it, so I like Gibson guitars. And then second, I like Fender of the legacy brands. I'm just, meat and potatoes. And I like plain guitars. Okay. Oh, it's tomorrow already. Yeah. Okay. I see a lot of chat messages. Okay, so YT Party tonight was talking about the fires, and we had a lot of mess to clean up. Oh, MB Guitar and Sound sub, bro. Thank you very much. Okay, then there's the rubbish guitar bloke, our friend here, our regular. I used my new 8-pound Temu cordless mini tool to polish frets last week and found it very relaxing. But used slow speed. Just put a video up. Oh, on your channel. I'm going to check it out. I'll check it out. How am I going to remember to check? Because I'm not going to check right away. I'm going to take a picture of your comment. Okay. Right there. I'll check it. Thanks for letting me and letting us know. Yeah. Nightmare. Yeah, you're talking about that neck. I think I know that channel. Oh yeah, yeah. The channel, the Ukrainian channel. So that's Tanya, right? Yeah. I think I know that channel. Yeah. Ted. Ted is in Hamilton. That's where my family is from and where I was born. Wow. F bass in Hamilton too. That video. F bass is another channel, I guess. I'm compiling a list of YouTube channels, guitar channels. Let me check. F bass. Yeah. Okay, I'll check it out. Okay, I'm currently researching YouTube, guitar YouTube channels. What makes them popular? Yeah, Ted's video format and style, format/style is quite edited. I agree. It works well, yes. Have I watched Doug McCormack? I am bad with names. Let me check. If I see the channel, I will. McCormack. So hold on, Cormac. Yeah, okay. Fine print, my eyes. Okay. I will check. Have I checked them? Let me see. No. I will check. Thank you. McCormack, Doug. Jose Reggio is another. Well, I'll check that as well. Let me. Reggio. Okay. I have Jose Fabian Reggio. Is that him? One video. No, that's not. Well, I find no guitar channel with that name. Oh, Joe Reggio. Reggio Guitars. Okay. 12 videos. I'm going to check him. Okay. Thank you. Robert Guitar, I'll check it out. Thanks. I'll check. Joe. He does amazing vintage refinishes. Okay, I'll check. F-Bass is a very high-end maker of basses. Okay. Just Joe. Yeah. Italian American. Okay. Great. Okay, friends. Thank you for the names of the other channels. I think I've seen Doug McCormack in the past. I'm not sure now. All right. I will check all of them. And thank you for the thumbs up. And let me type a thank you note. Thank you. Okay. Okay, friends. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. I don't, honestly, I don't know how long I can keep an audience watching me work. I mean, I really appreciate that you are watching, obviously. But there's only so many times you can watch the same guy do the same jobs, right? So this channel is not my focus, right? It can be developed, but something needs to be introduced to the channel, right? That's different than just the whole repetitive work all the time. And I don't know what yet, but maybe one day I will know. Something. I don't know what. Maybe some guests, so that maybe a weekly live stream, like regular live streaming channels. I don't know. And then have this as well. Maybe I shouldn't be streaming quite off to work. Oh, yeah, because you are in the UK. Rubbish Guitar Blog says off to work. Thank you. Yeah, so my focus is on the main channel and on the new channel that I want to launch, the business channel. I want to start recording videos for that channel. So I want to learn. I want to take what I've learned from the main channel to simplify how I produce content for the business channel so that I can upload more often, okay? And then keep the main channel as it is, more or less, as my pet project, I guess, where I document certain repairs in edited format. And I don't know how Ted does it. You know, his videos are highly edited, like we've just discussed. So I don't know how he finds the time to do that. But yeah. So Whitey Potted Night says, if you're willing to edit, you could focus on specific setup and repair issues you encounter. Just a thought. You mean to grab stuff from this channel and edit? Yes. It could do. Yes. Yes. In fact, I've kind of done it a little bit already, right? I used, what was it? Yeah, in one of my announcements for this channel, on the main channel, I said, you know, good stuff happens here, so I pulled something interesting from this channel. I can't remember what it was. Something that happened, I don't know. And then I showed that on the main channel, and I said, you see, if you don't come to the channel, you can miss interesting situations like what you've just seen. Yeah. All right, friends, it's 12:34 local time. Why won't it focus? Okay, here. Okay. And I don't want to stay too late. So thank you very much, and I'll see you soon.